Hello, my friends. Welcome to Let's Talk, produced by Wise Mindly Inc. I'm your host, Coach Shay Marville. In this space, we dive into transformative conversations that hopefully inspire you to grow, heal, and have a deeper connection to yourself and to the world around you. So let's talk, let's connect, let's grow together. Welcome to Let's Talk. My friends, today, oh my goodness, in the pod, I have, and you know, I do have special guests, but this guest is very special. He is a leader, an ex-football player, a man that when he walks into the room, everybody turns because they have to look up. Do you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
He coaches leaders around the world. Hugh Lawson, welcome to the pod.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. I've never had an entrance like that before.
Listen, we a couple weeks ago, we got to hang out, and I learned a little bit more about you, which was exciting and invigorating and inspiring for real, because of the work that you're doing around leadership, and in particular, what I think is very fascinating is that you talk to leaders about empathy.
Yeah, emotional intelligence.
Talk to us about that. Why is that so important to you?
Well, it's interesting because all my career, anytime we had like annual reviews, my managers, my bosses say, "Oh yeah, your EQ is off the charts. Like you have really high IQ." And I don't think I really appreciated it at the time because I think we come from constructs where we spend our whole life focused on IQ.
Yes.
And focused on scholastic achievement. And I always wanted people to tell me I'm really smart. But then when it's like your emotional intelligence, like what does that mean? But then I often found that I ended up embracing that, and it carried me far, and it got me out of a lot of sticky situations, and a lot of it is learned. Like emotional intelligence, it's not a fixed skill.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, pop quiz.
Okay.
What is your peak year for emotional intelligence?
Your peak year?
Give me a guess.
Like in your life?
Like you talk about someone playing basketball or an athlete, and they have their peak. They're 29. That's when they're at their peak in their physical abilities. What would that year be?
Maybe 60.
Yeah, 65.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 65.
Oh.
So you can always get better at it, right?
Yes.
So, a lot of these leaders are very good at what they do with their day-to-day roles and responsibilities. But I think if we all had a dime for every time we worked for someone and they just couldn't read the room.
Yes.
Or you're just like, how did this person get this job? And they have so much responsibility for so many people, and they break so many eggs. And I often say, people don't leave organizations, they leave their managers.
Yes.
And I think what I take great pride in is that the people that worked for me, I still maintain strong relationships with them. I put a lot of currency into continuing to support them in their journeys. And I just found it was natural. And everybody kept saying to me, you're like a coach. You're like a coach. So I say, let me focus on something that I'm very confident in speaking to.
Yes.
And then also putting some extra time into understanding the learnings and the methodologies behind that, which is what I've been doing for this last chapter. And I've just found that it's a gap for a lot of leaders.
Yes.
Especially during times where it's really noisy right now. And most parts of the world are going through immense transformation, especially in the last 6 months after the election results south of the border. So I find it's needed. Like people are pulling at me to support them with this.
No, I love that you are focused on this, and it's the last couple of years where you kind of talk about you've done a zigzag, when people are going zig, you go zag.
Yeah, I'm a zagger, yeah.
And if we can be really frank,
yes,
someone may look at you walking into a room and they'll see leadership, but they may not see oh, he's going to talk to me about love, about kindness, about compassion.
No.
And I think that's a really important sort of difference and differentiator, because people will trust you because they want to talk to you about leadership, but then you bring in the underbelly of emotional intelligence.
Yeah. It's interesting. We're having a conversation about this, and I'm a big guy. I'm 6'3". I'm not going to tell you my weight. That's a work in progress. I have some shirts at home. They're aspirational fits, but I think I'm going to get into them by October. I'm working on it.
You're 6'3", I'm 5'3".
Wow, there you go. There you go. See, there you go. It's just a foot difference.
Yeah, just a foot.
But it's interesting that anybody I know that's statuesque,
yes,
they're not bulls in the shop. If anything, a lot of us that are somewhat sizable and we take up space, we actually have to read the room better. Because people have preconceived notions of what they're about to expect. And if you feed into that, I mean, I remember 15 years ago, I had a moment in a meeting where I got really, really pissed off with the people I was working with. And I banged my fist on the table. And the looks on people's faces, I'll never forget. Like, it was just abject fear. People were visibly afraid. Like I was going to harm them. Like I would turn into King Kong. And then whatever it is I demanded of them at the time, 3 or 4 of these grown adults came into the office cowering, giving me the reports that I was looking for. And I said to myself, never again. I can never do that ever again. Because literally, if I do react or I don't read the room, it could probably put me in harm's way. Because if I react incorrectly versus someone else who's maybe not as big as I am, the results are like night and day. Like I am a threat.
Whoa, okay, wait, what did that make you think, like, and feel when you saw the reaction of the people in the room?
Sadness, because I'm not that guy. Anybody who knows me, I'm not an angry. People see me as unflappable, very cool, very laid back, very kind. But in that moment, I turned into King Kong, because what you saw was a big, statuesque black man who's lost his temper. And time again, over the course of history, you see what happens when we act that way. The repercussions are disproportionately worse.
Yes.
So I think that alone makes you more emotionally intelligent, because then you become a lot more self-aware. You know that you take up space. In many cases, it teaches you how to code switch, how to read the room, adjust. If anything, probably spend a little bit too much time making people comfortable or trying to disarm people.
Right.
But I'm at this chapter now where it's a superpower. These are all lived experiences, and these are all references that I can use, right?
Oh,
so yeah,
man. Okay, there's so much there, but how do you deal with not feeling resentful about needing to code switch or suppressing how you might actually feel, because you know people may perceive you incorrectly?
I don't deal with it anymore.
No.
I just go where I'm loved. I don't code switch for anybody anymore.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, I'm in a chapter right now. I just picked a room.
See, I believe that, and I know that this is going to offend some people, but I actually think that the results of racism is it gives you a superpower. I feel as though I know that I live in a world where there are social constructs about blackness and about people who look like myself and about everyone. But there are specific things about being a black woman. There's stereotypes about
tropes,
like once I was coaching a woman, and it's only happened once, but I was coaching this woman. I was encouraging her to physically take up space and to get stronger, and I was using yoga and mindfulness, and we were at such a great place. And what she was, I was, showing her what to do, and then she would repeat it, or she would, we were trying to create a pattern.
Yes.
And so we're standing in front of this mirror, and she's doing really well. And then she drops in like 2 snaps, like
oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
what are you doing?
What are you doing? Where did that come from? She goes, I thought you wanted me to be like stronger. And I'm like, no, I want you to be yourself. Nor did I do that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that that's good or bad. I'm just saying that it reminded me that in that moment, she perceived what I was saying through a certain lens. And I thought to myself, okay, it's of no interest. Being a stereotype, furthering the stereotype, going against the stereotype, it is of no interest to me.
Yeah.
I just want to be a human being. But I'm aware that in doing that, you're actually making people question certain ideas about who you are or who people are that look like you. And I think that's a good thing. I think it's actually a good thing that people don't always know who you are. It's not for me to prove myself, but it's for them to understand who are we both together in this moment.
Yeah. I just think you just got to find people who are open to that.
Yes.
I just, they call me a cynic, but I think in these later stages in my year.
I don't think you're cynical at all. But
no,
why
I have to be
that?
very economical with my time. My time is not, it's finite.
Yes.
And I also find as you get older, you just don't have the pain threshold or the elasticity to deal with things like that. I'm very self-aware with what I can take on, what I can't take on. And then also, too, this is an entrepreneurial chapter for both of us.
Yes.
So there's no guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks. So I there's got to be ROI. And my patience is a lot thinner than it was 5 years ago because in spite of everything that's happened over the last 5 years, the way the world's changed so much, what we were thrown into, if you still don't have it in you to figure this out, I don't think you got it in you. Like
How did you get to this point, though? I mean, it's not only age and what you've experienced as an adult. Do you think your childhood patterned or created patterns that allow you to be more resilient now?
Yeah. I think, just had very supportive parents. Also just seeing in my father someone who was very self-made. I mean, he never knew his dad. His dad died when he was 11, pretty much raised himself. Just steady and just poised and just understated. Well, my mom was a big personality. I think that's where I got it from. But just getting that support and just constant affirmation. Like even to this day, my mom's 83. She'll be 84 in about a month and a half. And she'll always, every time we're talking on the phone, she's like, you know what, son, I'm so proud of you. Like I'm so excited that this entrepreneurial thing's working out for you. I knew you had it in you. There's just a way. Like she just literally like, I'm like, yeah, thanks. You almost have to just take a step back and just say thank you.
Yes.
Because we're so inclined to say, no, mom, it's because of you, mom.
Yes.
I'm like, no, thanks, mom. And so that's helped. I think you just have to, the last 3 years have been very eventful for me. Making a switch, leaving a company that I was accustomed to for 13 years because I really wanted to do something purposeful and meaning all day. So just really following Japanese philosophy, Ikigai.
Yes.
Where I could be at the center of what the world needs, what I love, what I'm good at, and what I can sustain a living doing. So I moved to the healthcare space. And that was a dark, dark chapter.
How so?
It was a very, very toxic organization. And also just moving into a whole new sector. I just took a huge leap of faith. Usually when people leave, they kind of go to a competitor.
Right. Or something sort of aligned with where you were.
Yeah, so I just went to a whole new space because I figured that could be the Ikigai because this is saving lives, right?
Yes, yes.
And then my background, my family, anybody who's from the Caribbean, their family's littered with nurses. Yeah.
I say it all the time.
Yeah, my mom's a nurse. Everybody's a nurse. So, and then my daughter's studying neuroscience. So it's like, yes, this is the space. This is the space. But that took me to some pretty dark places. Just that atmosphere, the pace, even just the nature of the business.
Yes.
And
it's very hierarchical.
Yes.
And
chaotic at the same time.
Chaotic, yes.
Chaotic at the same time. There's a term one of the executive directors used that I learned from her. It was VUCA, which is an acronym. It's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and then ambiguity, all at the same time.
They use it in the military a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But I think literally in the healthcare space, I mean, you're at war with people's health and having treatable outcomes, right? But it took me some dark places, like really dark places in terms of my own self-worth, imposter syndrome, started having anxiety attacks on the job. But the fascinating thing is that it takes you to a space where it either makes or breaks you. Like they always say, there's one NBA pundit, his name is Mark Jackson. And he always, before you go to commercial play, you know one thing, Jim? Pressure brings about two outcomes. It either bursts pipes or makes diamonds. And yeah, I think it's what I don't think anybody's ever had a breakthrough
without
a dark period.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
then you go to the brink and you got nothing to lose. You got nowhere to go but up. And from that stint, I was like, I never want to work for anybody ever again. Never, ever again. I would rather die than work for somebody again. That's how strongly I feel about it. And then you ask about different chapters in time that kind of give you that resolve to kind of forge on. You mentioned I played football. I was drafted by Toronto Argonauts like back in the day, like last century. But I witnessed firsthand what's it like to see people in peak performance that don't have a plan B, and how things are possible when you're highly motivated. When you go to rookie camp, you have Canadian kids and you have American kids, imports. Like they call them internationals. I don't know what they call them now in the CFL. But the rookie camp was mostly kids from the States. And then at the time, I think Toronto only really scouted in province. So a lot of the Canadian kids I played against at the university, so we all knew each other. So we all hung out during camp.
I see.
So we sat at the same table in the mess hall. But then with each 2 to 3 days, people would stop coming to the mess hall because they're making cuts.
Right, right.
So cut a Canadian kid's like, I can tell people I made it to camp. I got a degree. And London Life's hiring. I'll be fine. And then you shake their hand and it's like you wish them all the best. Or if you're lucky enough to see them before they got cut. And the table just started getting sparser and sparser with each day. And but when the American kids got cut, it was cataclysmic. Because these guys didn't have a plan B.
Right.
95% of the rookies were African American, probably from abject poverty. This was supposed to be their stepping stone to the NFL. This is going to sustain a whole neighborhood.
Yes.
They don't have their degrees. They're herded through the 4-year experience of playing football. Probably since they're 9 or 10 years old, they've been put on a pedestal of which the only thing that was the source of their worth was playing. On a Friday night in a small American town, you'd have 15,000 people in the stadium watching the top high schools play. So this is their only identity, and this is their only ticket out. And I remember there was a gentleman, him and I were both defensive linemen, and he was from Grambling State, a historical black college and university. And they call him Big Red. And he remember he looked at me and goes, Hugh, if I don't make this team, I'm on the block. I'm on the block selling rock, and I got a kid. And it was no coincidence
Mm-hmm.
that these players flew a little faster on the field.
Yeah.
Their collisions were harder. They were a blur. And they played with urgency.
Yes, yes.
Because there was no plan B.
Because they had
nothing to fall back on.
Nothing to fall and everything to lose.
So when they got cut, it was hysterics. Crying, begging, let me be the water boy. I can't go back. And that always stayed with me, but it never, it stayed with me because I found it like profoundly sad because I had my degree and, heck, the camp was in Guelph. If I got cut, I just got to drive 20 minutes back to Mississauga and there's a room waiting for me. But that memory unearthed this past year where that's how I feel right now. Like if there's no plan B, like this has to work.
This has to work.
There is no plan B.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You just said what most people are feeling right now.
Yeah.
Because everything,
Mm-hmm.
it's not just that it's shifted.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And the world that we're living in right now,
Yeah.
no one's been prepared for it.
No.
Not that that any other time you
Yeah.
were prepared for what was the Industrial Revolution or
Yeah.
or technology, but actually now it is so disruptive.
There's no constructs anymore. There's no guarantee.
You've got 17-year-olds who can make $1 million in their basement, and you've got their father or mother who is out of work and has a mortgage to pay.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. And the other piece of this is it's funny we decide to meet today because this is the last day of June, and it's Men's Mental Health Month.
What do you mean, June or July?
June. So right?
Yeah.
And
I didn't know.
And there's a lot of conversation right now about loneliness and men's loneliness,
isolation,
and everybody's blaming it on feminism. But that's a whole other podcast.
Of course,
we'll
of
do.
course.
But but the reality, I think, is, or the truth is that loneliness is related to our disconnection from each other, which is related to our lack of empathy and our and our EQ, which you started talking about.
Yep.
And I think what you just shared, that profound memory and how it's been unearthed in the last 3 years, is what so many men are feeling and experiencing and have no ability, language, history of talking about it.
No, you're right. And the other thing to think about too is, like my trips to the Gulf region for work. That's where you see the stark contrast between societal norms there and here. Western European society greatly encourage rugged individualism. Anything is a gift is also a curse. I think the curse of that is that when the chips are down, all you know is to do things by yourself. I'll bootstrap my way out of this. I'll roll up my sleeves.
Yes.
I don't think men know how to ask for help. It's just, we're just not wired that way. We're not socialized that way. We're the ones that are supposed to go off into the forest and bring back the kill for the village.
Yes. And
then now when you have no idea what you're doing, you don't know what the next chapter brings. Women do this a lot better than men. They surround themselves with, as Michelle Obama called, people at the kitchen table, right? Like, yes,
I think we do. I think women do it better, but I think there's a lot of complexity to the way women are behaving right now. But like, if we just stick on, I want to stick here with on the subject of men, because I don't think we can talk enough about this, because what we always get back to was, well, the world is being run by men. Wars are made by men. The economies are, the top CEOs are men. The presidents are men. If you look at, there was a picture with Donald Trump recently and all the different,
G7,
Western.
It
was more than G7. They were all men. There were two women.
Italy
and Sweden, I think, right?
Yeah.
But But because we're still in these constructs of men and women and how men behave and how women behave, we can't get to that piece around emotional, intellectual complexity of our heart intelligence. That we aren't designed to just be achieving. We're designed to evolve and adapt. And the question is, are we teaching young boys how to adapt, how to be more than the hunter and the gatherer? And by the way, they're disproving that. They're saying that, there are many scientists who are saying that men were also looking after children. Men, they weren't only the hunters. Women were also hunters. So some of it is the way we've structured this entire society, that men should not feel, women do all the feeling and the nurturing.
Yeah.
And so you get men who are getting to midlife, the world's changed.
It's leaving them behind.
And they don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
But they do have the capacity.
Yeah, they do.
And what you're doing is like reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Is part of that. Like, you actually work with a lot of women.
Yeah, when I was looking at my CRM and my funnel, all my clients in Canada are women, like my main points of contact. As a matter of fact, the current engagements I'm on right now, all my clients are Black women leaders. Yeah. I love it.
Fascinating.
I love it. Like, I learned so much from them. And I'm in a chapter right now where if anybody can stand on my shoulders, like, I just want everybody to thrive that hasn't been given a seat at the table. And if I'm able to take a step away and I can read the room on their behalf and then consult with them after and go, hey, just look out for that cue over there. Or, we may want to come up with a strategy, just because I've been this rodeo before. I know it's going to happen 3 days from now. And if I can help support and set them up for success, I'm happy, because for me, Black women have always supported me. Like, I've my family, my closest friends, co-workers, colleagues, to me, I'm just paying it back. And also, when I go over to the Gulf region, I meet some very impressive women leaders there. Also, going to the Gulf region, I've learned how to defer to women.
What do you mean? Talk to me.
Well, in the Muslim world, when you meet a woman, you don't just go, "Hey, Asma, I'm Hugh," hug. No, it's assalamu alaikum, but you defer.
Yeah.
So you put your hand on your heart and you wait. And I learned the hard way. Because when I first went over there, actually, it was before I went over there, I was speaking to some high school age kids with a program Trevor Massey runs called.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Phenomenal. So a young woman, Muslim woman, came up to me and she had a question for me after my presentation. And I immediately, her and her mom came up and I immediately pushed my hand out to shake their hand. And she just looked at me and just put her hand up. And I was like, oh. Immediately I was thinking, maybe she's, very introverted and she just, or some people just don't like contact. So, I said, hi, I'm Hugh. And she introduced herself and her mom and her had a question for me. And I spoke to Trevor and someone after and I said, hey, I think I just broke a rule there. And Trevor looked at me and said, yeah, actually, when you greet a Muslim woman, because you're a stranger, you don't just shake, they're not going to shake your hand. So I was like, okay, note to self. And then literally 3 weeks later, I was in Saudi Arabia. And I was checking out the stage because I was doing a keynote the next day. And there was a woman on stage and she was just nervously looking through her papers and she's practicing while they're assembling the stage. So she came down and I said, is everything okay? And she says, yeah, I'm just a little nervous. Plus my daughter's texting me. Like, she's constantly texting me, asking me for her notes. But I'm here. Like, typical mom stuff, right? Like, look, I'm in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
You're in Abu Dhabi. I can't help you right now. It's 10 o'clock at night. you know where your homework is.
Yes.
And it just brought me back to like just what happened at our home with my wife.
Course.
And I said to her, I think her daughter was 16. I said, my daughter's 21 now. That's a phase. She'll be fine. You'll be fine. And I guess that comforted her because she knows that this too shall pass. She goes, thank you. And she goes, my name is Aliyah. And I said, hi, my name's Hugh. And I put my hand out. And she went like this. And I said, nice to meet you. And then she said, look, when you greet women, put your hand on your heart and defer. And then wait. And then a woman may put her hand out. And then,
right.
So at that point, that's when I realized, like, I might have been encroaching on women's space for decades now. Because I'm a hugger. I'm a handshaker. But how do I know not everybody likes that? And if you're in a group setting and it's like, hey, everybody, it's you. And I go and give someone a hug. They can't say, no, don't hug me. Because then everybody else is like, what's wrong with her? It really had me thinking. Now I just defer to everybody.
Yeah.
Like actually, when we first met, I paused.
Yes. Yeah.
I paused. I paused. I waited.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. Like everything you see is so counterintuitive because that woman that I met in Riyadh is one of my closest friends in that region. And the reason why we're close is the closeness that you'd have here is you hug and you show affection. Yeah. But because I showed respect, she's actually more affectionate towards me and she's opened many doors for me. And if I'm in Dubai, she'll drive from Abu Dhabi to come have dinner with me. And then she's like, I want to, when you next time you come back, you need to go to Abu Dhabi. And I want you to meet my father, and meet my husband. But it's just all these different things. Like I love
it. I love it. And I love that we have all these different, this is the thing about that we're missing about diversity. All these people who are like, so diversity so bad. Like when you get to see all these different layers of being a human being and experiencing
it's made me a better man. It makes me a better man. I think what's been instrumental for me the last 3 years is I went to that dark place. I remember watching this interview with Tim Grover. He was like Michael Jordan's trainer.
Yes, yeah.
And he always talks about, if you have to have darkness if you're going to experience great. You can't have greatness without darkness. And he's right. What I do see in men right now is a fear of the unknown. And maybe even like a form of hiding, like avoiding, or aggression to the point where it's like, let me cancel that because it's a threat to me. But in actuality, the more you further isolate yourself, the more you hasten your extinction. And I think this isolation, there's a really good Harvard Business Review talking about the culture of trust. In Western worlds, in many cases, trust is built by, your credentials.
Yes.
Your credibility, like who you know,
education.
who you're connected, your education.
Yeah.
But when you look at cultures outside of the Western world and European world, it's very village centric. It's building bonds. It's
relational.
Yeah. You eat meals together.
Yes.
You take time to get to know each other before the transaction. And actually, that's also very common in indigenous culture, too.
Yes, I was going to say.
So it just, what I found, I have more spirit animals over there than here.
Yeah.
Because that's the way they do it. And actually, when I think about it, that's all I know. Because that's how I was raised. That's the culture in which I was raised. That may not be as great a fit here.
Well, it's about also time, the time to be present with someone. Not like I'm going to meet you for 30 minutes and and let's look at our agenda. That is rewarded in this society. In some other cultures, you would never put a time limit on your meeting with someone because you don't know what's going to evolve. Yeah. I remember one of he's one of my best friends now. And he comes from the First Nations community, and we've been friends for 30 plus years. But when we first met, it took 9 months to actually meet because it was a letter
Mm-hmm.
and he never responded.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he did respond, he called me on the phone and he said, his name's Tom Alcoz, and he said, he's like, "Hey, Shay." And I didn't know who I was like, "Hello?"
Who this?
And
Yeah.
he's like, it's Tom. And I said, "Tom who?" And he's like, Tom Alcoz. I said, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
Oh my God. He talked to me as though we were already friends.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Well, it takes time
Yeah.
to meet and connect." And he goes, I'll meet you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we met, and then we had a 2-hour conversation, and then
It
all these
evolved.
things unfolded in introductions. And I do think that bonds you in a way to someone where you trust each other because you have this relationship.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
It's the only way to go. It's the only way to go.
Do you think the way you're evolving now, you know, as an entrepreneur, as a leader,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that has a fit in Canada, or do you think of yourself as beyond Canada because of the work you're doing internationally?
That's a good question. At this point in time, to be honest with you, I'm a little pissed off with Canada right now.
Tell me why. And there's a reason I'm asking. So I'm curious.
I'm a little pissed off with Canada right now. I think there is we're very judgy. Like, we talk about Canada having a productivity problem. I think a lot of that productivity problem, and you talked about this at lunch, one is insecurity. I think the second one is hubris. We put ourselves on this moral high ground. We're very judgy. And I think this hubris is getting in the way of fully using our human resources. Like, there's a lot of talent coming to this country, and it's being completely wasted. One of the clients I work with, they onboard about 56,000 new arrival professionals to the GTA. And I do emotional intelligence workshops because when they come to Canada, they've been marketed to very heavily. You know, land of milk and honey. Come over here. We want you. We need your capital. And then they come here and they get punched in the face. And many of them who are coming from great success, great academic, great business acumen, working for some great companies, they come here and they get punched in the face. And one of the first questions they get asked is, "Do you have Canadian experience?" Which is one of the most insidious questions you can ask anybody.
Why do you say that? Why?
It's not a question.
Yeah.
It's a way to end a conversation. It's basically saying, we don't want you because we know the answer. I mean, you remember in high school when you break up with somebody and you go, "Hey, it's
not you.
It's me.
It's me."
You can't come back from that. Like, you're just like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay,
Yeah.
you know, it's done. It's a way to end a conversation, and then at the same time, it's erasure. So you bring people to a new country that you've courted.
Yeah, you invited them. Yeah, but you've not told the people here that you're over there inviting people left, right, and center.
And you're inviting a whole lot, so then you're actually throwing them into a hornet's nest because everybody here is resentful.
Yeah.
And then we need them.
Yeah.
Like, if we don't bring them in, like, we'll die out. We're aging out. We're not repopulating. Everything will be supported by these people. And then we ask them this question of which we know they can't fit into or they can't even answer. And then these people end up taking survival jobs, but they worked at Tata in India.
Yeah.
Or they worked at Aramco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they have a PhD and they've got, a ton of global experience.
Yeah.
That we undervalue.
So we're completely wasting talent. And I watched a show. I think it was Steve Palkin. He interviewed this gentleman. His name escapes me, but he's the CEO.
TVO,
but the gentleman, the guest, his first name was Dominic. He's a CEO of an organization that advocates for immigrants. And the point system to get into Canada is so stringent that the only close equivalent to that we could all relate to really understand the stringency of how hard it is to get into Canada, another reference would be trying to get into Harvard. It is as difficult to get into Canada as it is to get into Harvard. The difference between the two is that when you get into Harvard and you pay your $50,000 for the year, when class starts on Monday, there's a class. There's a prof. You're learning. You're growing. You're thriving. But here, when class starts on Monday and you open the door, it's a storage closet with mops, an Uber Eats cooler bag.
And mistreatment, a lot of mistreatment.
And a whole lot of resentment.
Yeah.
And that's as wasteful as you can get with asset management. And that pisses me off because there is no rational reasoning or thought process. It's just, it's the amygdala run haywire.
Well, they could say, I mean, you could decide that you don't want immigration and that you're going to focus on the people that are here and be honest about that.
Yeah.
Or you could decide you want immigration. It needs to be transparent
and responsive.
It needs to be
equitable.
It needs to be fair.
Yeah.
And you're going to prepare the people that are here for who's coming and prepare the people who are coming for what's coming, for what they're coming to. It doesn't seem like that's happening.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that I think there's a kind of pretense here, and I say this as a person who is proud to be Canadian.
Yeah, me too as well. Yeah.
Even though
the reason I'm pissed off, like, I mean, if I didn't see any potential or I didn't truly care, or love this country, I wouldn't say anything. Like, I just remember from my playing days, the minute the coach stopped yelling at you, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they've moved on.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I love Canada, and even though people still ask me, where are you from? I am from Canada to this day. I am frustrated.
Yeah, that's what I am.
Because I also see that there's so much talent here that is not developed because there are no roots. There's no process for entrepreneurs. It's only a few people, only a few demographics of people who can become entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurship is really, if you haven't gone to the right school or gone to school at all, if you have ideas, if you're a person who's creative, if you want to be really productive and you don't fit into a box, entrepreneurship is the way. And this is why you have a lot of Canadians going to the U.S.
Yeah, like if you want to do something big, you got to leave. Yeah.
And that is terrible. It's terrible that we're still saying that in 2025, that if you have to do something, you have to leave and go somewhere else where there are other problems.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom always said there's no utopia in this world.
There is no utopia.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think we have to talk about it. And I think we can't afford to be polite. I think we have to say, because we are in this situation where the world has literally changed overnight, that if we don't react and change.
This is our moment.
This is the moment.
This is our moment where Canada has its darkness. This is the dark as dark could get. We have a trading partner that sees us now as the 51st state, of which 80% of our output goes there. If we can't pivot and adapt from this, I think I become that defensive unit coach that just says, Lawson don't have it in him. Because another thing too, that when you go elsewhere and you see the difference, there's a scarcity mindset here. And
yes.
Right. And so you got insecurity, hubris, and a scarcity mindset. And I think, a lot of it could be the big monster to the south that makes us a little bit more. I also think I can tie that to colonialism too. Like, it's a very British sensibility, because when you talk to Brits or your family there or people there, they navigate through the same thing. And that scarcity mindset of which, hold on to what you have, or everything here is a big three. You look in every sector. There's a big three that holds a lion's share of everything.
Yes, yeah.
And they hold on to it with dear life.
How is that not a monopoly then?
Exactly. And then as a result, the rest of us have to flail around and figure out what scraps are left over. But even just when I go over there, let's say, for example, the Gulf region, the abundance, you could taste it in the air. Like it literally, so prime example, someone comes here, looks for opportunity. First question is, do you have Canadian experience? When I go over there, or any Canadian, I invite you to just take a week off and just go to some conferences and visit the region. The minute you show up in the room, nobody actually asks you a question. They actually introduce you as a global expert. And it's then where you go, yeah, actually I am a global expert. I'm from Canada.
Okay. So then why do people then want to come here then? If there's such abundance there.
I think it's changing.
You think it's changing.
Oh, word's getting out.
I agree. I agree
word's
with that.
getting out.
Yes.
And if you really look up at the makeup of who's coming to Canada, it's heavily concentrated in a few countries. No one in the Gulf region is selling all their stuff to move to Canada. As a matter of fact, and I've had this conversation with a couple of colleagues. Like, so I'm my mother's child, right? So I remember as a kid, growing up, my mom would drive around. Anytime she saw a black person, she'd just go introduce herself. And they go, I'm Eileen. What island are you from? And the minute they didn't say Jamaica, she'd lose interest. But anyways, I digress. So I kind of got that black person magnet. So if I'm in Dammam, Saudi Arabia, and I see some black people, I'm like, hi, assalamu alaikum. I'm Hugh. I'm from Canada. I'm not saying what island you're from. But there's a lot of expats in the region that are melanated, and they're doing big things. They're running. So this one cat from the UK, his family's originally from Belize. I said, hey, man, let me ask you something. Like we all end up having like black people table in the middle of Saudi Arabia. I said, hey, man, let me ask you a question. I think I get treated well here because I'm black. And I just can't explain it to my colleagues back home. And he looked at me and goes, you're right. I do feel the same way too. And what is unsaid, because in the conversations you have, no one comes out and says, yeah, we got to stick it to the man. Everything's very respectful. You don't speak ill of your leaders. But off the record on a Zoom call, I will get nonverbal cues. And I'll say, look, just let me put something out there. Just blink once for yes, blink twice for no. I said, I think you guys treat me really well because I'm black. And my colleague on the other line, Saudi national, he's like, I said, is it because you see what's happening over there and how people have to navigate through a lot of these systemic barriers? And he goes, yeah. He goes, one, you're very educated, Hugh. Yes. Two, you have this immense experience. Three, you have a way about you that endears yourself to everybody here. We just absolutely love having you. But two, we could never live there because we've seen what's happening over there. And the fact that you're able to bring all this value and navigate through all that tells us you're really good at what you do. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree I concur with all those things. And that you just said about you, because I believe those things to be true. And I don't have any reason to blow smoke up, you know what.
It's a family-friendly show.
It's a family-friendly but you're not the only one. I've got a few people who are, in the Gulf and doing really well or trying and have been received really well. I get back to this point about one of the outcomes of racism that is unexpected is that is a bonus. If you could say, that's probably not the right word, but is a positive, is that when you are rejected or judged, evaluated as less, when things are taken away from you, because of what you look like or have been taken away from the people that you come from, you have to figure out other ways to do things.
Yeah.
And there's one psychology that becomes a victim of that and feels bad and is broken by it. And then there is another psychology that breaks through it and says, I have more than my ancestors ever had in the last 500 years or 400 years. I'm going to make what I can of it, because what I see are ways of surviving that are not clear to others. And I think this is the thing about Canada that bothers me, is that I think we are squashed psychologically because of the U.S. And the U.S. has this big idea about possibility, even in all of their darkness and strange things that are going on there. And I'm not suggesting that America is better or anything like that. What I am saying is that they have this philosophy of possibility that we have for a long time said, it's so great that they have that, but we're not that. We're so much more humble. And being humble is making us smaller than we are. Because you have to qualify to get to the next level, and who knows how to qualify. I don't think that's necessary. I think the possibility that exists in America, it exists here.
It's different,
right? It's just different, and we have to invest in people, and we have to help each other, and we have to collaborate. And I think we have to see all of these things that put us in boxes as this is someone else's belief system. This is not who we are.
Yeah, we need to create. I think the other thing too. We've had a conversation with a friend about this. Canada is in the middle of an identity crisis. We don't really know who we are.
We're not America.
No, and you know what?
That's not an identity. But that's not an identity, though.
Yeah, I think when I'm navigating through those spaces, the beautiful thing about that region is you could work in 3 countries in 9 days. Everything's an hour and $100 flight away. And the ability for me to adapt to each region and to each audience is very Canadian. It's literally driving on Eglinton through Toronto for an hour.
Right.
Yeah, literally my commercial efforts there are the equivalent of driving through Eglinton on a day where traffic is open. You adjust, you're in little Portugal, Eglinton West, barbershops, jerk chicken.
Caribbean,
drop down to Bloor, even got a Himalayan spot. I just think in this darkness, I think we really, really need to figure it out what is that Canada's what we're gonna do to put us on the worldwide map. And I can tell you from what I've experienced, when I go there, and they know I'm from Canada, I get love. But I think we need to love ourselves, and we need to celebrate ourselves. This scarcity mindset. So, to give you an example, entrepreneurship. You talk about how entrepreneurship is so squashed here. 25 years ago, let's say in the year 2000, 3.3 out of 1,000 Canadians would start a business. 2024, it's 1.3.
Say it again. Sorry.
So every year.
Yeah.
So if we were to look at the year 2000.
Yes.
In that year, 3.3 out of every 1,000 Canadians started a business.
Yes.
Last year it was 1.3 out of 1,000.
Insane.
But why would you?
No, well, there's no the taxes alone. I mean, will kill you. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I know that's a whole other episode itself.
But no, what is the benefit? What is the upside? And the fact that we are not supporting entrepreneurs in all of their different disciplines and fields
and backgrounds, right?
And backgrounds means that we are suppressing the productivity and the creativity that this nation has. Part of what makes Canada great is this pluralistic, multicultural, dynamic society where people are living together and experiencing a sort of hyper diversity that doesn't exist anywhere else. But if we don't value it, if we don't learn to tell the story of it, if we think of ourselves as always second to the United Kingdom or to the U.S., then how do we progress forward?
There's no place like Canada on the planet. There's no place like Canada on the planet. Like, we need to honor that. Like, when you look, and to me, the fact that, you say pluralistic, what I see is an adaptability, a versatility, variety. I mean, look at the NBA Finals.
Okay.
I mean, there's literally at any given point 4 Canadians on the court.
Yes.
Montreal, Haitian background, Hamilton, Ontario, Toronto. And when you look at each of those kids' flight path to the top flight,
yes,
it was grassroots, national program support, 2 years of high school, a brokering of a deal to go to a major prep school in the States, 2 years in some random small town in Ohio, and then off to a D1 school, 1 to 2 years in school, and then a lottery pick, of which these kids are now making $30-40 million a year. That could probably generate about $1 billion of income over the course of their career. And what you see there is a necessity to have to pivot all the time.
Yes.
Because if they do the full 4 years of high school, like say SGA did, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander did 4 years of high school in Hamilton, stayed in Hamilton, he would have got a scholarship to an upstate New York or a tier 2 program, dominated there, and might have gotten a free agent tryout with an NBA team. But what you see there is quintessentially Canadian in the fact that you have a kid, a racialized family, grows up in the Hammer, travels back and forth to the States, goes and lives with another family in the States while he's at an academy there. Everything there could be the model and best-in-class approach to how we could do things immense on a global stage. SGA is the best basketball player on the planet right now. And everything about him is Canadian. The Americans didn't make him a better basketball player. The Americans gave him the stage to be a great basketball player. That's what we lack here is the stage. I can tell you right now, what I'm doing over there is not different than what I'm doing here. But the difference between there and here is there I'm celebrated, here I'm tolerated. Huge. Like if I'm here, if I equate it, I'm going to keep doing sports analogies till I'm blue in the face. It just feels like, and I think this is the entrepreneur, or anybody who has aspirations or ambitions to do great things, you're basically like you're running a 10-100. But you got a 200-pound sack of potatoes on your back. But when you go elsewhere, sack falls off, you're running 9.5s.
Because you were carrying a sack before.
Yeah. Like, and I'm not talking about, it's all aspects of Canadian life. Like we need to think abundance. I agree with you because I think being an outsider in business, in entrepreneurship, if you look at all the tech bros, not that I'm celebrating them, right? Bros.
Whatever. It's the outliers that create the opportunity, the business, and the industry. I think actually when you are an outlier, when you are discriminated against, when you are pushed back, you actually get to see the country in a way that the country doesn't see itself. And that's not always a bad thing.
No.
Because you get to see different pathways. It's just about getting to the people who design the structure, help them to understand that you can import 100 million people, but if there's nothing for them to do, if you don't support them growing into more, you're just going to have 100 million people who are not making the country better.
Yeah.
And that's not what we want.
No,
right?
you don't want that.
No.
So
listen, you and I could go on.
Yeah. Well, how long has it been? Like, what time is it now? Like, I just.
Listen, you're gonna have to come back on and let's do a sport.
Everybody always says that, but they never invite me back.
No,
we're gonna do a second episode.
No, we will.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I will. Listen,
Cool.
Listen, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that we got to know each other this year. We've known each other for years online, but we actually got to meet.
And I'm a big fan. Like I said that at lunch. I go, I've been watching you for a while. This is like I was actually telling a friend. I was like, I'm having lunch with Shay Marvell. Word? I'm like, I think, I don't know. Should I dress up or something? Like,
you're funny.
I used hand cream that day.
You used hand cream.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, my dear departed dad. The last thing you want
is dry skin.
It's be ashy. You got like 30 seconds for a quick story?
Tell me.
Yeah, so back in my working days, my dad worked at Petro-Canada for like 25 years. And he retired, early retirement. And the company I was working at the time, we just acquired this huge incentive program at Petro-Canada. And those are the days of catalogs, print catalogs.
Right.
So they did a photo shoot. So rather than hire models, they got staff. So they go, Hugh, you want to be in the photo shoot? I'm like, heck yeah. It's Petro-Canada, right? So then I get to the photo shoot, and they're like, we're going to put you on the cover. I'm like, what? Word? I'm going to be on the cover? And they go, yeah. I go, I can't wait. I'm going to bring this home to my dad. So I remember I was wearing an apron, and I had a wok pot in my hand.
Yes.
And I'm looking up.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, it was a points catalog.
Yes,
and I was like, and I just remember my dad was so direct and just matter of fact and very proud.
Yes.
And I remember bringing the catalog home like, Dad, look, I'm on the cover of the Petro-Canada catalog. This is where you work. And he looks at it and he goes, you think you could at least put some cream on your skin when you took that picture? And I look at the picture, and sure enough, right in the crook of between my thumb and my first finger is ash. I'm like, damn. And it wasn't like a website where they could do it over again. Like there was like 10,000. And then my dad just looked at the magazine and just walked off. And I was shoulders slumped. I'm like, man, I need to cream my hands the next time I do.
That's a Caribbean parent.
Yeah. You think you could have cream your hands before you take the picture? Like, thanks, Dad. I know you're proud of me. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Listen, definitely. Maybe we're going to have to do, we'll interview someone together.
Okay.
Hugh Lawson, thank you for being
my pleasure.
on Let's Talk.
Thank you.
You are a gentleman.
Thank you.
You are a champion.
Thank you.
You are a leader in this new world that we're living in, and I'm so glad.
Thank you. It's an honor to be.
We're getting to hang out.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, pleasure. Salam.
My friends, thank you for joining me on Let's Talk, produced by Wise Mindly Inc. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take action, reflect, or embrace on a new way of thinking, on a new path. And if you enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully you did, don't forget to subscribe, share, and even leave a review. Reviews matter. They allow us to do way more than we're doing now. Let's continue the journey of growth and well-being together. Until next time, I'm Coach Shay Marvell. Stay connected, stay curious, and let's keep talking.